Today, I'm back with another video, guys, on how to make life-changing gains with magic internet money. We're going to talk about how to make $10,000, $20,000, maybe even more by farming the hottest ecosystem at the moment. That is Celestia. The question is, can Celestia make you life-changing gains? Could Celestia hit $100? We're going to talk about all that and more on how to make tens of thousands of dollars with just a few clicks of a button. So, before we do that, let's follow up with the Bitcoin ETF stuff because I just love talking about this. It is the biggest catalyst that our industry has ever seen, which will allow us to go and skyrocket, and basically a rising tide rises all ships, right? So let's get into this, guys. But seriously, just before we get into it, we've been talking about Celestia for a while now, and it just keeps running and running and running. And I was doubtful when the research team came and said, "Oh, we're going to do a video on Celestia today." And I was like, "Man, really? Like, this is not something that's going to do 100x." And that's not the idea here, right, guys? And so after listening to them and being convinced, and yes, I was convinced, I decided that it was definitely worth doing this show, and you will see exactly why as we watch this. So guys, if you're excited for that, make sure you like the video and destroy that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. What up, guys? My name is Celestia As A. I've been in crypto for 12 years. The goal of this channel is to help you guys absolutely crush it in this upcoming bull run. And when you don't have a lot of money, you're thinking, well, how do I get rich this cycle, right? I need capital injection. Well, recently there was an airdrop, and all you had to do was stake one TIA token, which right now costs $19, and you got a $1,500 airdrop, right? So we're going to talk about all of that and the other possibilities coming up, and you'll see why we're going to build this case of why you likely should take advantage of this. And it won't cost a lot of money. It's just strategy involved and game theory here. So guys, let's get into it. Let's first take a look at Blackrock, our #1 ETF pimps out here. So Eric says, this is how you market to rich boomer folks. The calm disposition, easy to understand invitational case, soft new age music, suit with no tie, everything about it says, it's okay. The adults are here now. We got you. So we've been looking at other Bitcoin commercials recently. This is Blackrock's. We're all waiting to see what Blackrock was going to come up with. And everyone else was doing like very creative, edgy kind of things. Not Blackrock. Let's check it out.
Digital asset adoption has significantly accelerated over the past decade, with profound implications for the future of finance. Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency to gain global adoption and has continued to maintain its dominance despite thousands of others coming into existence. You might have noticed Bitcoin make its way into our everyday lives, from Bitcoin ATMs to various merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment, further driving interest in what the future holds for the cryptocurrency. Investors have taken notice, as institutions and individual investors alike have been adopting Bitcoin into their investment portfolios, with some viewing it as a potential store of value and others as a potential game changer in how money moves around the world. But for many investors, holding Bitcoin directly can be complex. That's why we launched IBIT, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, an ETF that provides investors convenient exposure to Bitcoin. Here are 3 things to know about IBIT. Access. IBIT enables investors to access Bitcoin within a traditional brokerage account, just like stocks, bonds, and other ETFs. Convenience. IBIT can help remove operational burdens associated with trading and holding Bitcoin directly, as well as potentially high trading costs and tax reporting complexities. Quality. IBIT is built by Blackrock, a leading ETF firm with expertise across ETFs and a history of innovation. It is a new day for Bitcoin. Access IBIT through your online brokerage or discuss with your financial planner to find out how IBIT can fit into your portfolio.
This is just so crazy saying like Bitcoin chilled. This is going to be across mainstream, TV and everything, right? Obviously, they're going to have to cut that down to a 30-second commercial, but yeah, it's just interesting to see it. And you can see a different take. I see this playing on commercial breaks on daytime television or Wheel of Fortune, for example. And this is exactly what's going to happen, right? And you can see that across the biggest financial institutions in the world, it is on the front page. So scared but want to invest in crypto, retired and don't trust crypto, a TradFi guy wanting to diversify, retired and wanting to maximize ROI, visit the homepage of BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck for the solution. And you can see, this is the BlackRock. This is literally the BlackRock's homepage, right? The first thing you see when it pops up. VanEck, bam, HODL Bitcoin with HODL. VanEck Bitcoin Trust, Fidelity, FidelityWise, Origin, Bitcoin Fund. They're all competing for Bitcoin. And it's just crazy the amount of supply shock that people don't understand. Yeah, we have some price correction right now, but actually this, I'll show you just here in a second. It's kind of a funny meme, not this one, but
I believe it goes up if the world is more frightened, if people have fearful of geopolitical risk, they're fearful of their own risk. It's no different than what gold represented over thousands of years. It is a asset class that protects you. Right. And unlike gold, where we manufacture new gold, we're almost at the ceiling of the amount of Bitcoin that we created.
When you hear somebody like Cathie Wood,
yes,
who was on our broadcast yesterday, say that her base case is that this turns into a $600,000 a Bitcoin valuation, base case, and a million plus in a super optimistic case. Are you anywhere in her realm?
I haven't thought about it. To me, that what we are trying to do is offer an instrument that can store wealth. I think if it gets that even close to that high, gold will represent even a bigger value. And let's be clear, if you think it's digital gold, there's going to be a reference point between gold and Bitcoin.
Yes.
Guys, if you're not following me on X, make sure you do that. So much alpha on a daily basis there, like literally crazy alpha getting dropped there. I do these videos once a day, but we make about 8, 10 tweets a day, all full of alpha. So Larry Fink, and yeah, so about the price here. If it's funny, people think that like this was a sell to the news event. It's not a sell to the news event. It's just people taking profit after we had this crazy run up, from like $26,000 when BlackRock first announced it to $50,000, almost hit $50,000, taking profits. And essentially you just have this big, if you guys aren't sure what's going on, a lot of the people are exiting the Grayscale Trust, and this is which is causing selling pressure, but there's actually huge inflows. I believe BlackRock picked up 75,000 Bitcoin in the first 2 days or something like that. So so this is just a funny meme. Dev paid for marketing, stead lads. This is all part of the thing. Now, when I saw this post, I spent like 45 minutes scrolling through the comments because it's almost as crazy as the BitBoy post when he said that he posted about how he cheated on his wife and he tagged his wife and his and this DeFi Duchess in the same post, how there was just like 1,000 comments of how dumb he was. Same kind of insanity here. So this lady, Samantha Laduc, proud founder and mother, humbled contributor to Bloomberg, CNBC, Yahoo Finance, curious cross-asset analyst, persistent trader on Chase, swing and how are you a contributor to Bloomberg, CNBC when you make a post like this? Interesting, serious question then. If one Bitcoin is sold in units of sats or satoshis, and there are over 2 quadrillion of those, how can they claim scarcity, lack of dilution, hedge against inflation, and debasement? This would seem to be common knowledge and, math. And then people just continue to, unbelievable comments. I literally just was laughing my ass off here. But I think, the best one is just the people made this analogy of a pizza. Like, if you have a pizza and you cut that pizza up into small pieces, do you still have one pizza? Or now, let's say you cut it into 8 pieces, or do you have 8 pieces, right? So, And then you can just see like people are talking about like, anyway, I went through this forever because I just thought it was very, very funny, but people were giving her like, explain it to me like I'm 5 explanations. So just shows you that there's still a lot, like we're still super early, right? And like this post says, the reason I know crypto will go violently higher eventually is because TradFi are writing actual essays on Twitter how it's not money and doesn't have intrinsic value. Wow, no one has ever thought of that. And we just have a, you know, like I say a lot, we're here in an echo chamber, and we know what's going on, right? And the rest of the world is finding out, they're discovering, right? And this lady is, I'm sure she now understands what look how many impressions it has. Where is it? 1.6 million. And I think I've never seen this few likes for this, but this is got to be the lowest like to impression ratio I've ever seen on anything ever, for sure. Now, just a little bit about the kind of sentiment in here. We went from Bitcoin ETFs will allow TradFi to get exposure and buy our bags to why aren't they buying on day one? The space is treating this like as a Binance listing of their favorite shitcoin because they don't know any other way. And then people just come in. It just gives you, it's funny because people are thinking that like, oh, this wasn't what is going to change the game forever. Oh, obviously, like there's no interest and blah, blah, blah. And then there's just funny comments in here. Bro, I've been trading my Blackrock ETFs on 12 accounts and still no airdrop yet. Not even any fucking points. I heard it's all a single EOA and they haven't even hired devs building the things yet. Trust me, dude, it's a rug waiting to happen. Where can I stake my ETF and get liquid staking options? How can liquid stake my Bitcoin ETF? So anyway, just funny, this kind of this kind of attitude here. It is still one of the greatest, if not one of the greatest. Yeah, the thing that's going to allow us to excel much, much, much higher in a valuation perspective is all this money that's about to pour into the industry. So don't be super concerned about this little pullback. Don't forget we have the halving coming up in just a few months now. So bullish things ahead. Now, Vanguard, on the other hand, second largest money manager in the world. Listen to this.
Power of ETFs. And there's been a lot of discussion over the past few weeks about potentially a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency ETFs. Are you exploring it? Do you plan to open one? Are you going to apply to open one?
I think I talked about this, guys, on the last show. Like they're not going to. They don't. But as of right now, but I bet you, within 12 months, they get one, because it just seems like they don't get it, right? And they're gonna either lose all their customers, or there's gonna be so much demand from their customers that they eventually just do it, right? But again, more irony. I told you guys on the last show that Vanguard owns, I think it's 8 or 16% of MicroStrategy. So they want exposure to Bitcoin, but for some reason they're not letting their customers buy it through ETFs. I don't get it. Vanguard runs 75 billion ETF with 30% exposure to China, but you're not allowed to invest in spot ETF, whatever. So, all right, now onto the meat and potatoes of the show, guys. We're talking about Celestia, something that we've been talking about for a very long time, and bullish. The thing just keeps running and running and running. And why? We're about to explain to you why and what you can do about it. So TIA, ticker for Celestia, it's not modular money, it's cult money, specifically a cult around airdrops. Exactly. And and Miles Deutscher says, cult money is the strongest money. Drake, exactly. So what is going on here? And I'm not sure how many of you guys out there have watched different documentaries on things like Anonymous. I've watched a few of them, the kind of hacking that happened back in like, you know, in like 2010, like that time of those years. So like 10, 15 years ago. But there was like Anonymous, and then you had this anonymous hacking group called LulzSec. And I remember they were just, it was like a 4chan meme group that did hacking for fun. Turns out the founder of Celestia is the guy from LulzSec who hacked the CIA when he was 16. So pretty genius. Good to see that he's out doing progressive things in the world. And now we're going to go in to talk to you here a little bit about kind of value proposition. So Celestia makes it easier and cheaper for new projects to deploy new rollups and blockchains. For example, Manta Network saved over 99% in fees by using Celestia for data availability instead of ETH. These are significant cost savings that can be passed down to users. So we're going to start to see, I wouldn't be surprised if we see all layer 2s start to use Celestia for data availability. I mean, why wouldn't you when you can save so much money? Now, when EIP 4844 rolls out and it reduces the gas cost for layer 2s 90%, there might be less of it, but I still think you get data availability faster and easier on Celestia. So if we start to see a migration of almost all L2s coming over to Celestia to reduce the cost to their end users, well, that makes a lot of sense. And if you're going to be competing for users on infrastructure like a blockchain, you want the cheapest fees possible with same security and interoperability. And so that's a big value proposition. So the question is, like, even though Celestia, when we first started talking about it, it was like $2, now it's $19. Can it run to 30? Yes. Can it run to 40? Yes. And so we're about to start talking about the airdrop part of the show here. And I'll tell you a little preface here is that the play isn't, for me anyway, it's not to go out and buy $1 million of Celestia, because we're in a bull run here. And while Celestia can still pump 10x, it can still go to $200, in a bull run, it can even pump 15x or something like that. But the idea here for this show is to get some, because like I said in the beginning, if you basically, the rule here is so far what we've seen. And of course, if you subscribe to the channel and you watch these videos, we will keep you updated as things progress, because we will get to see the different airdrops that are happening in Celestia ecosystem, how much value they are worth, and what were the requirements to do it. But like I said the other day, there was one that if you had just staked one Celestia via like the delegation, and what you basically have to do is buy Celestia, send it to your Kepler wallet, and then go stake it and delegate it to a validator. And that will be on how to do that. They'll just be like simple in the description below. We'll post an Excel sheet or a little sheet with some of these simple how-to guides. So Taki says, I believe TIA is the purest way to gain exposure to the airdrop narrative in 2024, 2025. We've already had 2 airdrops to TIA stakers, Saga and Dymension, and many more confirmed, such as Manta Network, which you guys know I'm very bullish on, coming up. And so Celestia makes it easy for new rollups to launch. Some rollups will airdrop to TIA stakers. L1, L2 tokens command a premium in the market. So we see that narrative taking form. It doesn't matter what the price of TIA is, because the airdrops will more than make up for it. So basically what he's saying here is like, yeah, so you buy it at 19, and if it drops to 16 or something like that, it's not going to matter as much, because you're going to be making more money from these potential airdrops than if it went down a little bit. So we're not proposing here that you buy a ton of TIA, but buying some and staking it is probably going to get you qualified for a lot of these airdrops. And just another one here too, like for example, my DYM airdrop, which is this one we just talked about, already covers my cost basis for TIA at the current implied price of $4. So the position has already paid for itself. If I choose to dump my airdrop, I'm not going to, but that's a topic for another discussion. So what Taiki's saying is that basically whatever he's paid for his position in TIA, that cost will already be covered by this first airdrop. And there's things that we can assess, and this is why watching this channel on a regular basis is important, because today it very much seems like it's worth doing this. It's worth getting TIA. It's worth participating, staking, getting these airdrops. We will see how saturated this gets in a while, but for the meantime, it's still very lucrative. So there's this kind of 3-3 thing that in the 2021 bull run, DAO kind of created this thing where everyone just staking, and then it was kind of like this like flywheel effect that sent the price from like a couple $100 million to several billion in a very short amount of time. But market sees big airdrops, i.e. DYM. Market expects more airdrops. People dream about the size of these airdrops. Buyers become more and more price insensitive because of airdrop expectations. And so saying that this is why people will care less about the price of Celestia and how much it's pumped recently, and they're just buying it because of utility, which for now is airdrop farming. You can see that 48% of the total supply of TIA is staked already. Now, a couple things to take note. All the investors were allowed to stake, essentially. So, like even though their first unlocks don't happen until October 2024, which is what you need to be aware of, right? So I would say that right now a good move is to buy TIA, stake it, assess how these airdrops are going. You don't need a lot, right? Like I said, if you had one staked, you were qualified for this DYM airdrop, which is probably worth like $1,500. But you also have to understand that it takes 21 days to unstake. So in October, you have this massive unlock, and seed round investors are up like 1,000x on this. So they will be taking profits in October. So if you buy it, like, let's see what happens. And definitely, in my opinion, unstake and take any profits out before October. See what happens. There's going to be so much, you guys, there's so many projects being built, have been being built over the past few years, all set to launch in 2024. So for now, this is the current meta, right? Will it be the current meta in 3 months? I don't know, right? But we're talking about how to make money now because there's other airdrops coming up. And could you use an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to put yourself in a better position to capitalize and turn that $10,000 into, $200,000 in this bull run? Hell yeah, right? And this video is explaining to you exactly how to do that. Airdrops are free magic internet money, and this is one of the easiest ways to do it. Literally, a lot of other things require all of these tasks to go do and significant time requirements. So far from what we've seen on Celestia, it's buy and stake. Easy. We can simplify the market pricing of TIA to this generic function. Valuation of TIA equals future value accrual of the data availability layer plus memetics plus narrative plus future expectations of airdrops to TIA stakers. But let's be real, no one really knows how to value this thing. So it's true, and I think nobody really cares at this point, right? And so Dynamo Patrick is actually really good. Dynamo DeFi, go follow him. He's like the most comprehensive airdrop farming account that I've seen. Great videos, good Twitter account. My current mental model for TIA is that it is to the modular ecosystem what Link was to DeFi in 2020. Hundreds of rollups and app chains will launch this year, and TIA is a picks and shovels bet on the trend. And I love investing in picks and shovels, right? And so this is why, TIA potentially could be like a top 5 market cap coin, which could even allow it to run 20, 30, 40x from here in the bull run, right? If this is true. And it's interesting to think about a world where we have thousands of blockchains, and that's where we're headed, right? It's going to be everything that's like rolled up, and we're going to have all kinds of app chains. And that was one of the first things that caught my eye about Celestia when I first looked at it like 8 months ago, was their promise to be able to deploy your own essentially app chain or blockchain as quickly as a smart contract. And so that's what this modular blockchain narrative is all about. And it's always a good idea to invest in picks and shovels. Remember, those who got the richest during the great gold rush were not the gold miners. It was the people selling picks and shovels. So TIA staking also fits my thesis in the return of the Alt1 trade. Instead of trying to pick and choose an L1, L2 token for the upcoming cycle, why not stake TIA and passively receive airdrops? It's psychologically comfortable narrative for most. Agreed with that. I told you guys about the unlock already. And then, so this is a good post. I will put it in the document below for you guys to check out. Upcoming possible TIA airdrops. I'm quite bullish on TIA. I had posted a thread on Celestia's fundamentals here in November. TIA had its token generation event at the end of October, and in less than 3 months, it already has confirmed 4 significant airdrops. Dymension, which we talked about, Manta Network, which you guys know it's going to be huge, Saga, infrastructure for app deployment, and then Movement Labs, infrastructure for launching applications. And then I believe there's going to be many, many more airdrops, and you can see down below, like Eclipse probably. Like these are all things that are launching on Celestia. Whether they have airdrops or not, we don't know, but we believe that probably a lot of them will. Why? Because it brings them attention, brings them wallet holders. It's good marketing. So huge list, guys, huge list. And this is another reason why I'm so bullish on Celestia as infrastructure, because a lot of these things are going to launch at multi-billion-dollar market caps, like Berachain, for example, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So I'm going to come out and say that DYM will outperform almost every top 100 token in the next 3 months. It's got the TIA modular narrative, which everything launching on TIA does, which is a good narrative. Again, why Manta Network I'm so bullish on. It's got the roll app confluence with 4844 native. So you're basically taking advantage. So it's the easy, the roll app is just short for like, it's a roll up for apps, right? Like, so, you know, if we wanted to put Paid Network or Commonwealth on its own blockchain, which I think that we will do, you know, probably in 6 months or something, it makes it very easy for us to do that using Celestia, for example, or Dymension and Diamond Hands left curve cult, staking airdrop for roll up chains. So this is another thing too. So Dymension allows you to, it's even one step easier than using Celestia alone to do it's almost like one-click blockchains for apps. And Dymension is making that even more possible. So the idea here is that if you were staking TIA, you got the Dymension airdrop. And if you stake Dymension, then you're probably going to get airdrops to all the projects launching on Dymension, which is pretty cool too. Again, just ways, like so many ways in crypto to make free money. Like if you're watching this channel, you're going to walk away in the next 18 months significantly better off than you are today. We teach you where to find the best altcoins, shit coins, how to make free money, where free money is coming. Guys, this is like the best time to be alive. And if you really want to make a difference in your financial situation, pay attention and do these things, because I mean, this is literally like, there's a good possibility that if you were just to go buy $500 worth of TIA or $1,000 worth of TIA, even 200 and stake it, maybe you end up making 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 from it, right? And here's a couple other things that you can do too. So MilkyWay is the liquid staking narrative on Celestia. So it's like Lido, for example. And so what a lot of people are doing, let's say that you bought 100 Celestia tokens. They're going to put 90 staking natively on Celestia to be able to do all those airdrops that we just talked about, farm them. And then they're taking like 10 of those and putting them with MilkyWay, because MilkyWay is going to have an airdrop as well. And for now, if you're just staking on Celestia for the other airdrops, I think you do not qualify for MilkyWay. So, but remember, in the Jito, when we talked about the Jito one on Solana, all you had to do was stake one Sol to qualify for that Jito airdrop. So take some of your TIA, stake it in MilkyWay, and you're going to be qualified for that airdrop as well. I'm not going to go through all these. I just want to just quickly show you on screen, but these instructions will be in the document and in the description below on how to go, stake your TIA on MilkyWay, for example. So Berachain is something that we've talked about before. It's an upcoming layer 1, quite innovative. It's going to launch a multi-billion-dollar market cap. This is likely to have an airdrop for Celestia as well. It's actually cool. I love this. I love this website. It says up only, and I first try to scroll down like you do on every other website, and then literally you have to scroll up. It's great. It's a way to say that we're gonna pump without like an SEC non-security way of up only. It's great marketing. Their public testnet is live. It's gonna be huge. Here's how to. So they also have a testnet, guys. So in the airdrop document below, we'll show you how to go use the testnet. We believe it's incentivized testnet, where if you just go do some actions over there, you get some testnet tokens, you add Berachain to your MetaMask, and you do some basic transactions, like you're probably gonna be qualified for an airdrop. Again, just quickly gonna go through these. You can get this in the document below, right? Also, honey tokens, also on another different token that you can farm with the Berachain ecosystem. And finally, just to make sure that you do the most possible to qualify for the Berachain airdrop, then go do the Galaxy campaign. And so again, this will be in the description. And they've got NFTs over there. So they believe that if you do the NFTs, you're probably going to get some sort of extra bonus on that as well. Now, a while back, I'm kind of fed up with MetaMask. I do not like MetaMask. I think it's like unbelievably poor UX UI. And so I put out a tweet a while back, like 3 or 4 months ago, asking people what other wallets to use. And people overwhelmingly said Rabby wallet. I love Rabby wallet. It's, oh my God, it's like, it makes MetaMask look like Windows 1995 or something. And so it seems like they're about to take a snapshot soon. And so that's nice. I'm going to get an airdrop here. But it seems like it's get ready to smile for the camera. This is probably their marketing campaign to get more people to use the wallet. But I highly suggest that you check it out because you will probably never use MetaMask ever again. And it seems like there's going to be a token. So good news there. Now, Satoshi VM, it's another layer 2 on top of Bitcoin. So it's going to be competing with Stacks and Mint layer. It's a decentralized Bitcoin ZK rollup layer 2 that is compatible with EVM ecosystems and uses native BTC as gas. Satoshi VM introduces EVM ecosystems to BTC, granting the Bitcoin ecosystem the capability to issue assets and build applications. So very, very popular. It's been blowing up the past few days. It has had some good success on the testnet. You can see the doors to Satoshi VM testnet have been open for 72 hours, and the stats speak for themselves. 350 Bitcoin have been bridged over there. 30, and you see this. So testnet fundamental data released. This is testnet. You guys can, there'll be instructions in the document on how to use a testnet to qualify for the speculation of an airdrop that might be happening. They are doing a public sale on this bounce. So if you want to go participate there, you can do that. And here's the instructions again that will be in the show document on how to likely qualify for the Satoshi VM airdrop, which I think will be probably pretty huge. And guys, that's going to wrap it up. I hope that you enjoyed, again, share this with all your friends and your family. Like literally, if you know anybody that wants to make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for basically free, this video, you need to share with them. All right, guys, I will catch you tomorrow. See ya.